Welcome back to my channel. Stay tuned to our channel for sports and entertainment news all the time. Please subscribe the channel. Can Novak Djokovic accept being third best? Is Iva Jovic the next teen phenom? Tennis mailbag. The tennis season is heading into its closing stages, as the ATP and WTA Tours travel through Japan and China ahead of the season-ending tour finals in Turin, Italy and Riyadh, Saudi Arabia respectively. The 4 Grand Slams are done for the year, with plenty of ranking points still on offer at the 1,000-level events in China, in Beijing and Wuhan, WTA, and Shanghai ATP. This week, the athletics tennis writers Matthew Futterman and Charlie Eccleshare answered your mailbag questions on the season to date. Here are their responses. Editor's note: questions have been lightly edited for clarity and brevity. Patrick K. Will Novak Djokovic win a 25th major? And do you anticipate that 2026 will be his final year on the ATP Tour? I don't think he will, no. As he himself has acknowledged, beating one or both of Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz over the best of 5 sets is just too much of an ask physically for him at 38. Maybe Djokovic will get lucky and Sinner or Alcaraz will suffer upsets earlier on at a slam, but it's hard to imagine at the moment. As for the final year on the tour point, I always assumed 2026 would be. But being in the room with him after he'd lost to Alcaraz at the US Open a few weeks ago, my view has slightly shifted. We assume that surely such a serial winner must be hating his return to the role as the third man of men's tennis. And yet the way he was talking, it genuinely didn't sound like that. Djokovic said that he'd loved competing hard with Alcaraz for a set and, revealingly, that he reveled in the adoration, which he might feel has been overdue, he received from the crowd. I still enjoy the thrill of competition, Djokovic said in a news conference. Today, I received amazing support again on the court from the crowd. Very thankful for that. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. Yeah, that's one of the biggest reasons why I keep on going. The love that I've been getting around the world has been amazing the last couple of years. Djokovic reached the semifinals of all 4 majors this year and has fairly comfortably taken care of top 5 mainstays Taylor Fritz and Alexander Zverev at the slams over the last few months. He is, whatever the rankings might say, clearly the 3rd best player in the world. And he's belatedly feeling the love most places he goes. Maybe that's not such a bad position to be in, even for a player used to being the undisputed top dog. Charlie Eccleshare. How severe is Ben Shelton's shoulder issue? He seems like the only player on tour with the current ceiling and weapons to even challenge Sinkeraz. Sally M. Players are very protective with information about their injuries. He's hopeful that he will return for an indoor tournament before the tour finals, if he remains in contention for that. That said, given the force and torque he puts on his shoulder to generate his power, any shoulder injury at his age is concerning. Matthew Futterman. Is Iva Jovic the next teen phenom in women's tennis? She is 35-13 overall, at the start of this week, ranked number 37 as a 17-year-old and just won her first title. What's her outlook for the rest of the year and beyond? 2166 Cadmus. Yeah, there's so much upside for Jovic, who's also a very impressive person. Having spoken to her a little at the US Open, I was struck by her maturity and focus. I'm wary of bigging up youngsters too much, so I'll let another former teen phenom, possibly the teen phenom's teen phenom, do that. Here's Tracy Austin, a US Open champion aged 16 and 18, from a phone interview we did at the start of the year. I've known Iva a long time, and she's always been very consistent. An incredible competitor. Very accurate. Iva is going to have a great career. Probably her backhand is what stands out, and she moves well. Great depth, consistency, it's tough to beat her. Tough to hit through her now. Physically, you are still developing at 17, but I think she's doing great. As for the rest of the year, Jovic will look to build on her first WTA title, won in Guadalajara this week, and then look to secure a top 32 ranking that would see her seated at the Australian Open, which would be some achievement for a player ranked outside the world's top 200 at the end of 2024. Maya Joint, the 19-year-old Australian ranked number 36, is another youngster to look out for. But as we looked at earlier in the year, when Mira Andreeva was the only teenager in the world's top 100, there has been a big shift in women's tennis away from teen phenoms dominating the sport.